And this gets to your point about like the models changing. I think as models change, the norms become more important than the
Yeah,
rules.
I guess probably right.
I just got introduced to like one company showed me two initiatives they're working on, and one is highly deterministic code, super sophisticated engineering, very neat. The other was a 10,000 word Markdown document, and I gotta tell you, man, the Markdown document, it was amazing in terms of like that there is future software.
Now, what do you mean by a 10,000 word Markdown document? What, they made it, or what was, I don't just,
Yeah, so they made on the one hand they have this sophisticated tool for sophisticated SDK for TypeScript, and going to be working with their various features and get access to all this sort of stuff. There's like sort of an AST turning into an AST. There's a lot of interesting stuff about it to make their system underneath more usable.
yeah,
And the theory being that people will use it because they can program with TypeScript. And then the other one was we're just sort of taking one particular problem, and which is sort of basically a documentation problem or a observability problem, and we're going to turn it into a skill that sort of defines how it is you need to be, articulating the hooks, right? Of where you're talking about like the certain properties of your code,
yeah,
right? And then you can on the testing side just confirm that one, the hooks are there, and see how they map onto your business processes. Very cool, right? Because then the visualization becomes something that's accessible to like a non-technical person, or ideally to like people who are involved in compliance or whatever, to make
yeah.
sure that the code is actually hitting all of the right stuff. But what I found really neat about it was something that could be defined, that could describe some code, but also you could run as an agent, so you can apply a reasonability test to it as well,
Wow, that's
right?
cool.
That
That's
this is
nice.
and so that's what I mean by being future of software. Is like increasingly, I'm thinking about how we mix. I always thought I often think about your headless AI approach as being a really smart one, right? Because it's about how do you mix the deterministic with the cognitive. And the neat thing is I sort of was reading this document that there was a combination, and
Yeah,
I'm discovering that most of these things are really about combining rules with norms, right? And here it's just it's providing that combination. Here's good structure, right? But here's the why of the structure.
yeah,
And that by giving both of those to the AI, you are able to get a much better, it's not just blindly following a bunch of rules like, code will, because code given rules will go execute on those. But if you give it the norms of it, it works much better.